And truth be told, a lot of these men don't want to be fathers. They don't want to have the responsibility of child rearing. They don't want to share the parenting responsibilities. And they don't want to pay financially for supporting children. Are they at that table? Investigation, reduce spending. We don't really have a problem with it. Just 7 years ago, there was a headline in Jamaican media that said this: DPP joins the call for resumption of two is better than too many campaign. The article appeared on Radio Jamaica's website, and in it, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Paula Llewellyn, said the problem of women producing too many children that they are ill-prepared to care for may result in dysfunctional individuals who become a strain on the society. This was in 2018. So fast forward now to 2025, when the Jamaica Gleaner has a headline that says this: young women urged to balance professional development against childbearing years. And it says young Jamaican females are being urged to balance professional development against their childbearing years as fertility becomes more complicated with age, increasing the probability of a C-section delivery. Of course, this is just the latest in a series of media headlines sounding the alarm that there is trouble on Jamaica's declining birth rate if it's not addressed, that the birth rate is experiencing a dramatic fall as the population ages, that we're going through a fertility crisis, and that if we don't replenish the birth rate, that the country's development goals could be affected. We also have the Minister of Health who is urging women to consider motherhood if they can afford it. So now we have a slew of people from all sectors of the society telling women that you need to have more children, you need to replenish the population, which is a complete reversal from what they were saying just a mere 7 years ago. Mind you, we're talking about the same society where teenage pregnancy was so prevalent, and we shunned these teenage mothers to the extent wherein we had to create the Women's Center to ensure that these women were educated because of how they were shunned from the school system. This is the same society we are talking about, We are talking about how people need to be having children younger. This same society. As Miss Kitty said, the fertility rate fell because women are prioritizing their own happiness and health, right? She says women are choosing ourselves more and first now. Long gone are the days when we're just getting pregnant for the sake of replenishing a society. And she is absolutely right, because women should not be penalized for taking the message, the actual message that was pushed to us by the government, that we should strive for economic independence instead of having too many children. That was literally what the government told us for many, many years. It was just in 2024 that they dismantled the National Family Planning Board. When we had this campaign, two is better than too many, here are some things that we knew that the data showed that having too many children was a factor in the poverty level. We knew this. We knew that when women had too many children that they could not take care of, and the DPP alluded to that just a few years ago. And we know that women pay a motherhood penalty. We are not able to advance professionally as we would when we don't have children. There's a penalty. So what is the message actually that we are telling people? No, that we're telling women specifically. First of all, you need a proper decent man to procreate with. So what we need is to have partners that understand that child rearing is a partnership. That's one. Who is not going to up and leave you as a single parent, and who is in a position to provide not just economically, but emotionally, and participate in the child rearing duties. And truth be told, a lot of these men don't want to be fathers. They don't want to have the responsibility of child rearing. They don't want to share the parenting responsibilities. And they don't want to pay financially for supporting children. So why aren't you directing messages at them? And then you also need, in a wider society, you need to have the proper conditions for child rearing in the society, because the pitting and go just grow up in your house. So you need proper schools, you need proper infrastructure for child rearing. In the workplace, you need conditions that facilitate you going home to your children, that facilitating you going to a school emergency, taking your child to the doctor, to the hospital. Those public facilities need to be of the caliber that can care for your child. Child care needs to be affordable. All these things. So telling women to have children single-handedly is not a sustainable way to increase the birth rate. What we need is a long-term vision that encourages people to want to have families, that creates the conditions for families to thrive. Nobody is interested in creating your future workforce for the promise of a paltry sum after you've worked for 50 years. You get a little pittance that you can barely survive on. Nobody is interested in bringing children into the world for that. So my message to young women is this: don't be bullied and don't be scared into having children that you don't want and that you might not be ready for, just because somebody is screaming about, the dangers of having children late. Medicine has advanced to the point wherein even if you have children later in life, as many women are now opting to do, you can do so very safely. And I can also say that at any age you can have pregnancy complications, whether early or late. So don't follow anybody and deviate from the path of prioritizing your career and your economic independence. I promise you, as an older auntie, I promise you that is something you will not regret. Because even though many things have changed, what has not changed in our society is the penalty that women pay for putting parenting first before career. And the only people who are trying to make you feel like that is a wrong decision are the people who are going to benefit from you prioritizing them over yourself. This year, brand new things are happening with News2Me. I'm starting a new series called Community Guidelines. I'll be talking to different people, having conversations about politics, about history, about social events, about relationships, different issues that affect various sectors of the society. So in addition to the historical content that I do, the news commentary, the opinions, and all of that, I will be having people that I talk to from various walks of life to share their perspectives and to give us different viewpoints. So be sure to tune in, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone to like, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you then. First episode airs Sunday, May 11th on this here channel. Be sure you're subscribed.